So what? 27, 28?
Jesus, you are a little tired today, man.
What is it?
27.
Okay. It's actually
What is it?
lot of...
What fucking episode are we on? All right, let's just get this over with. I gotta go to bed. I'm fucking tired.
I mean, I don't put numbers on the Spotify episode, so I don't always know.
Yeah. I've just been labeling on what episode they are just so I can keep track.
Yeah.
I'm not titling them anymore because I like the way you title them on the podcast.
Yeah, just by the movies.
Yeah, because it will get people to,
Yeah, when it's named Tiger King, people will be interested. Hopefully. But what do I call this stream though? Don't want to spoil you.
Episode 27, just like I did. That's the easiest way to do it, man.
Yeah, I'm calling it Sad Movies.
Oh, God. All right.
All right.
You went down a dark path this week?
Not really. With some sad movies. Let me do the sound check.
Sure.
So. Say one sentence.
One sentence at a time. The bird fell off the locker when the kid shot it in the face. And that is how high school ended. There you go.
Yeah.
Are we good? We're not.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. God, the echoing always a pain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, let's get some time in that I can cut off.
Yeah.
I should really do this with Audacity, but I got other stuff to do, right?
Right. I haven't fucked with it too much, but it seems pretty straightforward and easy.
Probably, yeah.
Not as easy.
Have to get into it.
Not as easy if we had a Mac, we had GarageBand, They're so cool with their Macs.
Yeah, fancy people.
We would have been so cool if we would have had Macs, but we're not part of the club.
That's right. Oh.
Well, Game of Thrones has a 9.3 on IMDb. Look at that.
Yeah, it dropped down though. It used to have like 9.6.
Jesus.
I think that's deserved. I don't know, I gave it a 7, even though it was a 10 once,
Yeah, I can't give it a 7. There's no way.
Yeah, but I just don't. I'm so done with it.
Yeah.
Like,
we don't need to get your rage going again about that, Why do you think I've come all Why do you think I've come all this way?
God.
That's terrible.
It was, yeah. Anyway, do you want to do your intro thing?
Stairway to Cinema, episode 27. Myself and Amin Starik here.
Hello.
Hi.
So let's just, as always, start with the movies or shows you've seen.
There's not really any news, really, either. There's like a bunch of trailers that I haven't watched yet, so I wanted to watch trailers, but I didn't.
That's cool.
So there you go. So I watched a lot of Survivor, which, is not really good for a film podcast. I know that. And then that was about it. And then last night I actually watched a movie, which...
interesting.
I did. I watched a feature film. I know, it's crazy. But I watched the new Netflix movie, Chris Hemsworth, Extraction.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. And I thoroughly enjoyed it quite a bit because Sam Hargrave, stuntman turned director here, backed by the Russo brothers, made this movie. And the choreography is incredible. There's a 12-minute one-shot sequence in this movie that is fucking awesome. The action is awesome. Chris Hemsworth is a total fucking throwback badass from back in the day. So it's definitely a man's movie. But yeah, man, that's a solid good time watching that movie because it's just gets right into it.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out yet, but I plan on doing that. I heard from some people they call it it has some Raid vibes, you know.
Probably, yeah, because it's very contained. You know, it's contained in Bangladesh most of the movie. So
Also the choreography, I mean.
probably, yeah. I mean, I don't know because I haven't seen the
Yeah,
raid,
sure.
but I think coming, like, it's kind of exciting, this dude, because that's where I feel like the choreography was so strong, because he is a stunt man.
What's his name?
Sam Hargrave. He's the guy that actually did Chris Evans' stunt double in as Captain America
No.
in most of them. So he's got really good ties to the Russo brothers. This is his first full movie, and I don't know. I'm just gonna be excited to see his name again. You know?
So it's basically the same story with Chad Stahelski, the guy, the stunt guy from The Matrix, who directed John Wick. You know?
Ah, okay, all right, yeah, because there was some John Wick gunplay in the movie, like 100%. But man, it's just a good flick, very good
Yeah, it
flick.
sounded like a good time, so might check that out next week
Yeah,
because I actually do have Netflix again.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it like fucking groundbreaking special, but I mean, it's just another reminder that action is alive and well, and it's dark too. It's fucking pretty bloody, pretty violent movie.
That's good.
Yeah, and you know me, I like it when they don't give a fuck. There's a specific scene in there where they don't give a fuck, and I loved it.
Though I heard the story is kind of weak.
It's very,
Simple.
your typical story, yeah. But I like the fact that it's a mercenary tale. There's not too many mercenary tales out there. Usually it's espionage, spy shit, which I still love, but it's always nice to root for kind of the anti-hero fucked up character. So
Right.
yeah. Highly recommend.
Out of 10?
For me, I would say an 8, just because I
really?
know,
That's high, though.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's an action movie. I'm judging it purely on, I'm not taking this to the Academy Awards. Although I do continue to be impressed with Hemsworth. I like Chris Hemsworth a lot.
Yeah, I used to not like him that much, but he proved himself.
I think he's got at least something to bring to the table, and I'd like to see him in more action movies like this. I'd like to see them pair up again and do more shit, because it did feel like a throwback. And the beginning is very, there's a Commando vibe there, a little bit. So
I actually heard that they want to make a series out of it.
I mean, you could see that, yeah.
Like another movie. I mean, make a sequel.
I would be fine with that.
Because actually, in Germany, they're advertising the title of the movie is Tyler Rake Extraction. Like they're trying to build up this character. I feel like.
Like, I mean, yeah, we'd have to discuss it.
Yeah, I might see it this week though. Maybe next week we can talk about it.
Yeah, it's solid flick, man. I'm really happy I actually watched a movie this week.
Yeah, it doesn't happen a lot, right?
No, I've been sucked back into the wonderful, wonderful world of Warcraft.
Right.
They got me again, dude. They got me again.
Yeah. I watched 11 movies this week.
I knew you'd fucking double digits. What do you got?
And I also watched a whole season of a show.
Ooh.
And I watched The Mandalorian, the last episode. So, do you want to talk about that whole show?
The Mandalorian itself?
Yeah, right.
I mean, we can. Yeah, I don't. It's not too fresh in my mind. I remember how it ended. I remember most the characters, and I remember the plot and all that. I really like Gina Carano.
The Cara Dune, the mercenary.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
Yeah, she was cool. Actually, basically, I like all the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Carl Weathers is great, I think. And we don't have to talk about Giancarlo Esposito, who's always a great villain.
He's always great, yeah.
And last episode, actually, I was surprised. The whole series, I thought it was great, but not super amazing, because I don't like this adventure of the week thing that much.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have a consistent story, which it has, especially in the last 2 episodes. But dude, the last episode, the beginning battle, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Even slightly got me emotionally.
Yeah.
Was great.
And Pedro. It was nice to see Pedro, have that starring role,
Do we want to spoil?
No, I'm just
don't have
saying,
to,
as
right?
the Mandalorian, everyone knows he's the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
so,
right. Of course.
Yeah.
And
But
also,
I do like that scene, though, that we're talking about.
Yeah.
That we're kind of skirting around, yeah.
I mean, it's not a big surprise, right? Like,
No,
I mean,
but
if you know that it's hit, you know what I mean.
Right.
Also, Taika Waititi as the IG-11 is pretty cool, even though it's just voice acting. And for me, probably stealing the show is Nick Nolte as the what's his name, Quill.
He
was pretty cool.
Yeah. All the characters were just well written and fun, and even the Baby Yoda I thought was great.
And also, it's like the first time Star Wars is really dark, except from Rogue One, probably. Like, there's not much humor in The Mandalorian, and it's actually pretty violent, even though it isn't, because it's PG violence. Nobody's like, there's no Django blood action.
No.
But it's still kind of brutal how they kill some people,
Yes, yeah.
So, I like that.
And
also,
I think they kind of carried that over from Rogue One a little bit. Like, I don't
probably.
Because Rogue One to me was... Yeah, like, I mean, even Empire's got some shit in it, but...
Sure.
And even Revenge of the Sith, with the Anakin, spoilers, killing all the kids.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's pretty fucked up. That's probably the darkest moment in all of Star Wars.
Yeah,
but
it is. You don't see it though, but still.
But I felt like The Mandalorian had the same tone as Rogue One a little bit, even though it had its own thing. And I feel like they pulled it off very well, because it does feel like kind of a space western to me, which
it does, yeah.
Really, really, really liked. And I love the fact that they go really heavy, and not too heavy, but just a little bit into the Mandalorian lore and why their armor is so important. I love that shit.
You don't have to know any expanded universe knowledge to understand.
Well, they're still building that. Like Disney is still building their own, but they still have taken fragments of shit. They're just really nitpicking what they want to keep and what they don't, which is, infuriating a lot of those people that put 30 years of their life into reading expanded universe stuff. But, you got to get over it. You just got to get over it. You got to get over it, man.
Also, a thing I really liked is that the Mandalorian, the guy, is not this crazy powerful dude. Like, he is strong and shit, but he's still... I mean, he struggles, So like,
yeah. If there's no struggle, there's no point.
Yeah, right. I like that. Also, the whole period it's set in. Like, I like this post-Empire shit with like, still companies of the Empire being around and shit.
Yeah, like when you see the stormtroopers, you know that's significant. It's kind of cool. Like these stormtroopers are still around.
Yeah, right. Also, spoilers a little bit. The Death Troopers from Rogue One make an appearance, which is fantastic. I love the design.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty... Overall, it was a very good show, but honestly, the problem I had is this... Actually, it is this Adventure of the Week thing because I never really looked forward to another episode. Like, of course, I'd watch it, but I was not curious for what's to happen. It's kind of... Because it always ends with closure on the episode. I
don't know if they'll do that as much for seasons 2 and 3. It seems
Hopefully
like they're going deep. I mean, there's rumors that Darth Maul's coming, and there's a lot going on.
Isn't he supposed to be dead though?
Yeah, but Darth Maul is alive.
Yeah, but isn't the lore? Yeah, but isn't he like killed by Obi-Wan on Tatooine?
But in
Rebels or something?
Yeah, but that's
not...
Again, they're picking and choosing what they want to play with. So.
Oh, okay. So it's an inconsistent universe now.
Probably. I wouldn't take Rebels too seriously, though. I wouldn't take any of the cartoons too seriously because live action is
things about Clone Wars, I'd never watch it.
It's good, yeah, but it's made for kids. I mean, it is made for it's got a good tone to it, sure, but I mean, to me, live action defines Star Wars. I mean, if those people want to stand behind animation, that's fine, but that's live action is where the consistency will lie.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right. What would you give The Mandalorian season 1 from 1 to 10?
A solid 7.5, 8-ish.
Yeah, I would say 8 is fine. Like the
Yeah.
last episode, really, I was struggling between 8 and 9, but I can't decide over one episode. So I think it's 8 is fine.
Yeah, because to me, like the Adventure of the Week thing is a throwback. So there was some nostalgia there for me because that's the kind of that's how shows used to be. So The Mandalorian almost went against the grain of the constant cliffhanger asking questions, the Pandora's box a la Lost every episode. I mean, that's what most TV has become these days is to keep you watching and glued to your seat and continue to binge. So at least on the one hand, because I agree with you in many ways of the Adventure of the Week being probably what hurts it a little bit, but at the same time, I enjoyed each adventure. So it's hard.
I would actually say the same. I generally don't have a problem with Adventure of the Week, but in this case, I had to wait 1 week for the next episode. And I was just not hyped for the next one.
Right.
Because of that.
Yeah.
If I could all watch it in one binge, then I wouldn't have a problem, probably.
I think every show is better watching it in one binge. I think the time of waiting for something to watch each week is not great for the story, the viewer, and the character because you kind of lose touch sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's a weak move by Disney, like especially in Germany, where the whole Disney Plus thing got released way later, and now they still release The Mandalorian weekly, one episode. It's
a business move to keep this.
Yeah, of course, I can totally understand, but it still sucks for us.
Same with Hulu, same with Prime. Netflix is the only ones that just drop it all and say have a ball.
Speaking of which, the show I watched.
What'd you watch?
I watched the 4th season of The Last Kingdom, which is one of my absolute favorite shows.
Right, I saw that hit, and I kind of knew you were watching that.
Dude,
I knew it.
I watched like 3 episodes in a day, and the next day I watched 7. Just binged through it.
Nice.
And it was a great experience. Like, I mean, I do like shows a lot, but I don't watch them that often because I only ever continue stuff I already know. Or in like unique cases like The Mandalorian, I start a new series because it's interesting. But usually, I don't really get into shows anymore.
Which I continue to push you to do because to me they're a cinematic display these days.
That is true. Yeah,
and also one of the biggest things that I got to argue for a good show is the characters. It gives you a chance for the characters to really expand and but TV shows are also a gamble. They're a gamble because if it ends before you can finish it or if it ends poorly, like Game of Thrones for you, it's going to leave a stain on the entire show.
And sometimes they don't even continue the show. In like the case of The Punisher, which got canceled, is really sad.
Right.
With
a strong season 2 too, with like everybody was.
I haven't seen the 2nd season actually because I think even before it came out, it was known that it was canceled, so I didn't bother.
Well, they released it. And then a month later, they announced it was canceled. It was that's a bad move on that, but that's a Marvel thing. It's a totally different thing.
Yeah. The Last Kingdom is actually, it's kind of surprising that it has already 4 seasons. Not sure how big the success is, but it seems to work. And I hope that the 5th season is coming because I love that show. It's incredible, actually. Kind of fills the hole that Game of Thrones left,
Yeah.
It's not fantasy, but it's medieval. It's very brutal. It's heavily R-rated. Got some great battles and shit, and great drama. And it's about a very interesting period of time. I think it's in England of the 9th century when the Vikings, the Danes, invade. And it's pretty cool, pretty nice.
Anything period wise where they execute it well is compelling. Dindram, my stepmom, she really loves that show. She's been swearing by that show for years. And my brother, too. He loves that show.
Yeah, I think everybody who's seen it actually really likes it. I don't know anybody who's like, this is not that good. It's pretty solid.
Yeah,
I think it has a slight low-budget feel to it sometimes, but that doesn't bother me at all.
Right. No. No. Yeah. Because I think back to like the first season of Vikings, and it's like the budget was pretty low for that, and I still love that shit. So as long as the story is executed well, budget, as long well, sometimes it could look like shit. Sometimes you do have to have some kind of budget.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Other than that, I like for shows. I also continue to watch The Simpsons, of course.
What season
and
now?
I'm at season 15, and
okay.
I'm starting to notice some flaws. It's not like I feel like season 12 is the last really good season, and it's losing heart. Simpsons always had heart, and now it's just like it feels more like cheap comedy a lot of times. And also they're like repeating plot shit. I don't know.
Are you going to continue like this venture?
Probably. The Simpsons is something that I can watch on the side while I'm drawing or something. It's just it's good entertainment, but I don't know.
And you've been drawing a lot.
That's true. Yeah.
You've been.
I'm gonna apply for art school again this month. So.
Oh, good luck to you, man. Good luck to you again.
Actually, I should apply today. Like I have time until the 15th. So, but I should do it today or tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
Anyway. It's not an art podcast. It's movies.
Well, no. I mean, if any of the viewers, any of the people listening on a podcast, if they might be listening to, Amon's got very good work out there, and he's been posting on Instagram a lot. And yeah. I mean, we're both artists. We know, like you caught fire. I feel like the last couple weeks, and you've been
There's always this time when I have art block when I just can't do shit.
Totally understandable.
And then I always feel like, dude, I'm such a shitty artist, when you just don't manage to create anything, and sometimes it's the complete opposite, and you just like the juice is flowing,
And speaking of TV shows, one of my favorite TV shows of all time, 6 Feet Under. It's got a great scene in there. Ben Foster is one of the young artists. Yeah, it's one of the first times I ever saw Ben Foster. But that whole season, it's season 2, where they focus on this art teacher, and he tells the students, it's a great scene. He tells, the greatest thing I ever did was take everything that I ever created and I lit a match. And I just completely understand it. Like, I just completely understand that line, and I love that line, so I know you get that too,
Yeah. All right, let's talk movies. 11 movies, 3 of them rewatches.
Nice.
But let's always start with the weakest ones, which in this week I didn't watch anything terrible, which is the first one, I think.
No Doolittle.
No Doolittle. No. What was the last one? American Ninja.
Yeah. Oh, but that's a good time.
That was a good time, though. Yeah. So the worst thing is I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's a sci-fi thriller from last year, I Am Mother, from 2019.
I did watch that.
And Hilary Swank.
Yeah.
So, the humanity is like almost extinct, and that teenage girl is raised by a robot that's designed to repopulate the Earth in some underground facility. And the unique bond is threatened when a strange woman arrives with some alarming news.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, IMDb. I liked it kinda, but also it was kinda forgettable, I think. So the robot design was amazing.
Yeah,
I think how they did that is pretty cool.
And I love the Rose Byrne voice too, because it's so calming, and I don't know, just a good. I like Rose Byrne either way, but you bringing yourself to watch a Hilary Swank movie, that's
actually I didn't mind her at all. Like I don't hate her anymore. I think it was like, I'm actually not sure why I never liked her. Maybe it's I don't know. I don't want to say that. Like, what did I see last time? Insomnia. I didn't mind her at all in that one as well.
She's actually pretty solid in Insomnia.
Right, role. And I thought she was solid in I Am Mother. She's.
Dendrum, we're talking about Hilary Swank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem with the movie, though, I think it's nothing that original, I feel like. it's kind of, I don't know.
It was
Hard to
like
explain.
it was on the cusp of being something really cool. I felt like.
Yeah, there are some people who really like it, but I just thought it dragged a little,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't really emotionally invested. None of the twists really, came as a big surprise. It was kind of everything went as I expected it, basically.
I didn't care for the girl.
Yeah,
If I
right.
recall, I liked the robot. I liked Hilary Swank's character, and that's yeah. It wasn't. You're kind of right on the money with the forgettable, because
Yeah,
it's kind of a
it's
good way
kind
to
of
say
sad
it.
though because the robot design, like they used. I saw some behind the scenes stuff on that. Like they built the robot, but also had CGI and like mixed that, and it's pretty incredible. I think it looks like it was pretty original design. Looks well executed. The effects are
Yeah,
great. It's like
yeah.
pretty
There was never once where I'm like, this looks like shit.
right.
It's solid the way
And
it looks.
I mean, I found it interesting how this robot like is in this mother role with his child. That
Mhm.
was kind of interesting, but I don't know. They didn't really do it that well. I don't know. It's not a movie
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Not bad though.
Yeah. But it wasn't terrible, right?
No,
Like, yeah, I agree.
but also I think it ran at the cinema last year, and I
Really?
missed it. And I'm not super sad that I missed it. It's not nothing I would
No.
like to see on the big screen.
Yeah, that's not really it's a good streaming movie, you know.
Right? Yeah, I think it came out on Netflix in the US, right?
Yeah, Netflix Direct. I watched it like the first week it came out because you know me, I like sci-fi. You know, I love
Yeah,
that shit.
sure.
So it was attractive to me right away, but I remember feeling kind of the same. Just it
Yeah.
ended, and I was like, man, that was okay, but yeah, it's just okay.
All right. So like for me, it's a 5 out of 10. It's watchable. It's all right, but probably never watch it again. Anyway, next movie. You'll like this.
Okay.
I watched a fantasy adventure movie from
Oh,
1986. I watched
the-
Labyrinth with Jennifer
finally,
Connelly and David Bowie.
finally.
So 16-year-old Sarah, she's kind of weird. She's big into fantasy and shit, even though she's
Mhm.
16. I don't know. It's kind of weird. And um, like her brother gets like more attention from the parents, and the parents always kind of like I don't know.
The Harry Potter.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And so when the parents are gone, she wishes that the child is like taken away, and the Goblin King Jareth, played by David Bowie, grants her that wish, and he takes the child. And now Jennifer Connelly is given 13 hours to go through a labyrinth and return the child, and it's super wacky. But
Very
I think that
wacky.
was kind of cool, actually. So
I told you would enjoy this more than
yeah,
Legend.
I put it in the same category as Legend, or not really the Dark Crystal, but Dark Crystal is also Jim Henson, so there is some,
They're all in that same category in the 80s
Yeah.
stuff, yeah, for sure.
So I hated Legend. I didn't really like the Dark Crystal because I thought it was disgusting somehow.
Creepy.
Yeah,
Creepy,
really
too.
creepy.
Scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
But I loved Willow, as a 80s fantasy movie.
Mhm.
And this one, Labyrinth, is kind of in the middle. I enjoyed it, but it's not as good as Willow.
Willow's pretty great.
Willow is also different though. It's like
that's
very
it's
comparable.
hard comparison. I would more Legend, Never Ending Story is what I would
Oh yeah, right.
shoot for between like Labyrinth. I would put Labyrinth probably maybe at the top, although I really love Never Ending Story.
Gotta
but
see that.
this movie is very memorable specifically because of David Bowie though.
Oh
as the
yeah,
Goblin King.
whole soundtrack is by David Bowie. He has some musical scenes which were super bonkers, but I don't know, they kind of fit well
And
in
they
the
just
movie.
kind of happen, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit, this is a musical as well." You're like, "Oh,
I mean,
okay."
I can't really give it shit for that because like David Bowie is a pretty amazing singer and artist, so didn't
Yeah.
mind it. It was kind of weird though.
You really
Um,
can't go against David Bowie. Rest in peace,
Right.
David
Oh, yeah.
Bowie.
And dude, the Jim Henson puppet craftsmanship or whatever, that's always amazing, dude. Like, The way they do this shit is crazy.
I knew a girl way back in the day that was terrified of the hands scene. She couldn't watch the scene with the hands when they're talking to her, which is an awesome scene. In her 20s, and she still can't watch it. It's terrifying to her. So
I think it's cool.
So did I. I mean, Jim Henson was special. Jim Henson.
Dude, sometimes I don't even know how they pulled it off.
Mm-hmm.
There's this guy, this dog who is he a dog? This night dude who's riding on a dog. I don't know how they did that. It's pretty amazing. And I don't know. I in Dark Crystal, I thought if the effects were quite creepy. In this one, I kind of liked them. You know, it was cool. It was a cool movie.
Yeah, it wasn't as there's like unsettling things to look at in Labyrinth, but not as much as Dark Crystal.
Yeah, and Legend with its creepy goblin. Ugh.
Yeah. You should rewatch that. It's good.
No, I will never watch that again. I think. But yeah, Labyrinth was a good watch. Actually, I was surprised. I think it's far better than Legend and better than the Dark Crystal.
Just think of the millions of boys out there in the 80s that had a crush on Jennifer Connelly as soon as she
can't blame them though. Yeah. All right, next movie. Now we're getting into the 7 out of 10 category. Labyrinth is more like a 6 out of 10.
Oh shit! Here we go.
This one you will never heard of this one. So
it's a French movie.
No, it's called A Simple Life from 2011. A Chinese drama with Andy Lau. I don't know if you know who that is.
Not The Simple Life with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie.
A Simple Life. So after suffering a stroke, an old maid announces that she wants to quit her job and move to an old people's home.
Thank you, IMDb.
Right. For 60 years, she cared for Andy Lau's family, who's like her godson. And after she took care of him all his life, now he cares for her as she's slowly dying, basically. So it's pretty sad, actually. But like it's an uneventful movie, and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, but you like uneventful dramas.
Yeah, it's like this movie is very authentic. It feels close to life, and just it's basically just about ordinary life, which I always appreciate such movies. And it's heartwarming, but also very depressing, at least for me, because like seeing this life slowly fading away, it's kind of sad. So I don't know. This aging thing is scary.
Seems like a movie you'd really have to be in the mood for. That sounds tough.
It's not easy.
No, not at all.
But it was quite nice. I enjoyed it. Like, it was a good watch. Good movie.
Did you cry?
No.
Oh, and that's
not a good. Yeah,
it's not a good sign, man. Not a good sign.
Not really.
I need tears
because I easily cry in movies, as you know. So no, that's not true. I haven't cried in ages. I think.
You cried in Joker. I remember you told me. Joker really got.
Yeah, when he killed his mom. Spoilers.
Oh, spoiler! Oh man, people are gonna come down on us now.
I know. I should edit that out.
They're gonna write us emails, just all infuriated. I hope we get to that point. I really do. I'd love to answer emails and shit. You know, I would love that.
Yeah, true. So from a Chinese movie or Hong Kong movie, I don't know, to a Korean crime thriller that came out on Netflix this year, or like pretty recently. It's called Time to Hunt. And it has the guy, his name is Woo Sik Choi. He is the boy from Parasite. He's in that. So it's a slightly futuristic movie, but it's not sci-fi at all. I think it's set in a couple of years, and the Korean currency totally lost its worth. So in Korea, only US dollars is worth something.
Yeah.
And, so 3 young guys, one of them just came out of jail. They want to make a robbery, a big one, and then go off to Hawaii and chill.
One more score, right?
Right, the big heist.
Okay.
And the only 2 institutions that have US dollars are illegal casinos and banks. So they decide to rob a casino. And the robbery goes rather well, but after that, a killer is hired to hunt them down. And that's the movie, and it's pretty intense. Actually, I was quite impressed. The thing is, I noticed Korean movies, they always look so bitchin'. Like, it's not just Parasite; it's basically all of them. Like, really well filmed, and it always looks like a quality production. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, South Korea does have money. You know,
that's true, though. Yeah.
They're not hurting for money at all. Rocking a 6.2 on IMDb, though.
I don't see that at all. It's a slow burn, actually. Like, it's not a fast-paced action movie, but I still liked it a lot. The dynamic between those three guys while they're hunted, it's pretty cool. Like, it's all, I think, like this whole the killer hunting them down. It takes place inside within I think 3 days or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. I liked it. It's quite intense. There's some shootouts that are really well executed, actually, especially in the ending with some nice gore.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is it violent?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
And I just wish there was more of that in the movie, more shootouts, because the big one that's in the end, it's really good. So I just wanted more, you know.
It's good though.
Very
right?
solid Netflix movie.
That's good though, right? I mean, it had a
right.
Does it end well? I don't want spoilers here, but is it?
It doesn't have a completely satisfying happy ending, you know. It's kind of
that's fine
on the dark side.
Good.
Of the moon.
I like that.
All right. Yeah, it's a nice movie.
I'll take dark over happy any day of the week.
Oh yeah. Next one is a movie called Boy Erased from 2018.
Ah, you finally got around.
Lucas Hedges, Nicole Kidman, Russell Crowe, and Joel Edgerton, who also directed it. It's kind of impressive. So thanks again, IMDb. The son of a Baptist preacher is forced to participate in a church-supported gay conversion program after being forcibly outed to his parents. And Lucas Hedges, dude, I think he's kind of comparable to Timothée Chalamet, but he's more on the indie side of things. He's in lots of small movies.
I was gonna say, if you got to choose, who do you got?
It's kind of hard.
Choose. You got to choose.
I'm not sure. Like, Timothée Chalamet was in bigger movies. And I thought they're both great. I think for me it's Lucas Hedges, actually.
He makes more. They both make dramas, but Lucas seems to be damn near everything he does, especially the last few years, has been, like nominatable is a good word.
Oh, yeah. And the first time I saw him was in my former favorite movie, Manchester by the Sea, in which, like, it's his best performance for sure. But he's also just fantastic in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. It's a kind of comedic role, and he's really good at that as well. So, and this one was like he's proving himself. Like every movie he's in, he's good. You know, can't say that about all people. And also, of course, Russell Crowe. I mean, he got kind of
pretty
fat.
good. He's pretty good in this, though. He's pretty good in this.
He is. He's kind of the villain figure, but not in an evil sense. You know.
I felt like it was kind of a return to him acting a little bit.
True that, yeah.
And also just Joel Edgerton, triple threat. You know, he wrote this for the screenplay. Wrote it for screen.
Yeah.
You know how much I love The Gift. So
I haven't seen that.
I thought you saw The Gift.
No.
Really? Oh.
But like if you say that The Gift is good, then it means that Edgerton is also not just an amazing actor. I think he's very underrated.
The Gift,
he's also a good director.
Listen, The Gift with Joel Edgerton and Jason Bateman is one of the darkest fucking movies, dark, twisted fucking endings I've ever seen. Ever. So,
okay.
Awesome movie. Awesome fucking movie.
All right, I'll look for it on Prime or something.
But Maybe Boy Erased. Yeah.
Dude, this movie is infuriating.
Yeah.
I get so mad watching this. It's a really hard watch because like this fanatic Christian ideology of those guys, it's disgusting. Like they basically treat homosexuality as like some mental disease, and it
Was
needs to be
disease.
fixed.
Yeah,
You know?
disease.
Was really, really rough to watch. And,
you can look up old commercials. You can look up old films and stuff, like little, public announcements and shit from like the 40s and 50s and shit of talking about homosexuality as a disease, which is just, it's terrible.
But I mean, this movie takes place in 2004, so it's just that these camps or like these programs,
it's still happening. It's still happening in the U.S. Yeah, it's still happening.
That these still exist. It's just insane. It's outrageous.
There's been a couple states that stepped up to the plate, I think, recently that banned it. I think Utah. I'm not sure which states.
I mean, it should be banned for sure.
It should be banned across the board, is what it should be. Because I mean, I've met many a gay man and gay woman in my life, and they're not looking to go to that side of the fence. They're just, I mean, that's how they choose to be. That's how they are born,
Right.
It's a dangerous word I just said there. I just said choose. Now I'm going to get
let's
how dare you say that?
Also, dude, in the scene when he's raped, super rough.
Brutal.
But this movie is basically the opposite of a feel-good movie. It's it's a really good film, but it was hard to get through.
Yeah, because it just slowly like happens. You're kind of like suspect it right before it happens, and then it happens, and you're like, Jesus.
Yeah, but dude, Nicole Kidman in the end, that was nice,
Yeah, this is another movie that I would point to Nicole Kidman as being very good in as well. I love her latter day career, Nicole Kidman's.
But also, I just want to say, Joel Edgerton. Dude, that guy, I think he's so underrated.
Very underrated. Yeah.
Like, not many people know him, I think, but he's always delivering. And for me, probably his strongest role is a Warrior or The Great Gatsby. Even though The Great Gatsby isn't that fantastic, but for that guy.
Yeah, I'd like to see him direct more too. Like,
for sure.
I like both of the movies that he's directed, and I never got around to seeing Loving, which I always kind of wanted to see. That's a drama about the loving couple that was like, it's a white guy and a black woman, being together back in the day.
Oh, that one with
with Ruth Negga.
Yeah.
Negga.
the girl from Preacher.
Negga, people. Okay. Negga. That's her name.
With,
Yeah. Just so you know.
All right. Yeah.
And I really like her. I really like her.
She's cool on Preacher, actually.
That's another show I need to finish.
Me too, actually. Started like that 2 years ago and never finished it.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah, Boy Erased, pretty good.
Pretty fucking good. Just a good all around feeling drama. I thought everybody in it was good, and even Edgerton, like you said, just underrated. Like he infuriates you in this movie.
Dude, I think it's great that he puts himself in this very hateable role.
Mm-hmm.
I think he doesn't have to do that, but he.
Oh, that's why I got to point you to The Gift, because the fact that he wrote that movie, that's
and he's the villain, right?
That's not an adapted movie either.
Oh, okay. What's even more infuriating is that Boy Erased is based on reality, like
exactly
based on a true story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Terrible, man. Terrible.
Yeah, from this very sad movie to another one, which also is kind of beautiful. That's why I call this a sad episode. It's called At Eternity's Gate from 2018. Vincent van Gogh. I don't know how you say his name in English.
The Willem Dafoe movie.
Yeah, it's a biopic with Willem Dafoe, Oscar Isaac, Rupert Friend, and Mads Mikkelsen.
I like Rupert Friend.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. I wish he was in more stuff.
Oh, he's
gonna
in
be in the
Homeland.
new.
He was in Homeland.
Ooh, okay.
He has one of the most killer roles in Homeland for like 3 seasons. I love him in Homeland.
He's gonna be in the next Wes Anderson movie. I'm hyped for that. So at Eternity's Gate. How do you say his name? Vincent van Gogh? Van Gogh?
Vincent van Gogh, yeah.
Okay. So it's about his last months of living of the Dutch painter Vincent van Gogh as he spent his time painting in a small town in France. And throughout the movie, he discusses like approaches to art and life with his friend and fellow painter Paul Gauguin. I don't know, who's played by Oscar Isaac.
Oh, Gauguin.
Gauguin. Okay.
Listen, if you're gonna apply to art school, you're gonna have to.
I mean, I know how to say his name like in German, French, something, but not like English pronunciation is different.
Yeah.
But also he's slowly losing his mind in this movie, which is kind of shocking again. Dude, this movie you haven't seen it, right?
No, I haven't. I've always been interested in it though, because there was some Oscar hype for him when.
Oh yeah.
When
he got nominated, yeah. And I think it's a crime that Defoe doesn't have an Oscar yet. Like, he's fantastic in everything he's in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, he's one of my favorites. I think you'll appreciate this movie. It's basically, the whole movie is basically a piece of art. Some people might call this an artsy movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it just fits it so well. This movie, it looks like one of his paintings, basically, with the colors and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the camera is very cinematic and always moving. It feels very intimate. It's very close to him. And I think it just makes sense to make kind of an artsy movie about an artist.
Yeah.
And
well, Van Gogh is a special case too, because he had some issues, didn't he?
Yeah.
Bipolar, I believe, and
yeah, he heard voices in his head.
Right.
And also, like, the problem is he doesn't have any success with his paintings. Everybody, he has a conversation with a priest played by Mads Mikkelsen, and the priest talks about God and shit with him, and but he also says that his paintings are ugly, and like God put you on this earth to paint ugly paintings.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sad, this movie, because nobody is appreciating his art, and
which, Van Gogh to me is, again, special, because when it comes to like looking at all those old artists from back in the day, his work is it's an eye-opening pieces when you look at it. Especially, we all know Starry Night. Is that what's called? Yeah. Starry Night?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Great piece too. It's still to this day, it represents art in many, many circles, is that painting. It's such an awesome painting, and one of the most mimicked paintings out there too. Like, there's so many homages to to that painting itself. But no, that movie actually interests me, because any movie about artists is always kind of calling a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically the art movie. Yeah. Like, I think, like, if you appreciate art, so I think you will appreciate this movie. And,
well, I think I brought up the movie way back. I don't know when I brought it up to you. A Katie Holmes movie called Touched with Fire, about these two crazy artists that are bipolar and manic, and it kind of dives into Van Gogh a little bit, the manic nature of him and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just kind of, yeah. Van Gogh is he's very appealing character.
Yeah. And again, it's basically the same feeling I had with A Simple Life. It's just so sad seeing this guy slowly, like, his mental health decreasing and shit. It's yeah. I mean, he ended up in a psychiatric hospital.
It's pretty sad when you look at history's artists and writers as well. Because one of my favorite writers, Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, Edgar Allan Poe. He died poor, never sold a fucking thing until after he was dead. So,
yeah, same with Van Gogh.
It's like, it's terrifying, but at the same time, like, I don't know, liberating in a way that these artists are remembered. It's
true.
Like, I don't know. Like, I hope that when I die that, there's something remembered, especially in an art piece like that. And there's a lot of art out there now, so it's a different world, man, than when Van Gogh was doing it. But I don't know. I think creating art is a special thing, and it always will be.
Yeah, and they discuss different kinds of art in this movie. It's really interesting. When I first started, I wasn't really into it, but it got me in the end. And yeah, as always, Willem Dafoe is just an amazing guy. I think this was his first leading role Oscar nomination.
Yeah,
And
I think he's been
I think it
nominated
was
supporting before.
yeah, right. He was supporting for the Florida Project, Platoon, maybe,
Yeah.
and
Maybe. I think
the
so.
Lighthouse.
Yeah.
I'm not sure actually. No, it's not Platoon. It's the vampire movie.
It wasn't Lighthouse because he didn't get nominated.
Oh yeah, right. He didn't. He should have.
The biggest crime and one of the biggest crimes in Oscar history was Willem Dafoe not getting nominated for that role.
He was nominated for Platoon, yeah, Shadow of the Vampire, The Florida Project, and At Eternity's Gate. Yeah, I'm really glad I watched this.
I never watched Shadow of the Vampire either.
Me
that's
neither.
Another one that I wouldn't mind watching because that's about the Nosferatu, making of Nosferatu, I think. Yeah. That could be good. That could be good.
I think it's with John Malkovich as well.
Does it compete with his Lighthouse performance, or is Lighthouse still
no?
Yeah,
it's not like super. I feel like the Lighthouse madness is more extroverted.
It was intense. This one.
Give me 1 second, please.
Thank you for the follow. Kill a clam. Kill a clam. Does he kill clams? Or is he the clam that kills?
Good question.
Right? You never know.
I think it's a different performance. Like it's not on the same level of like it's different madness, you know.
One could argue that the performance in The Lighthouse is one of the greatest performances ever on film. So
yeah, and it didn't get recognized by the Academy.
Crazy, absolutely crazy.
I think it actually it wasn't even nominated for a Golden Globe as well. So totally, yeah.
I will not defend the film, but I will defend the acting to the day I die. To the day I die.
That's nice. I like that.
Of course.
So
I was captivated, dude. I was captivated by his performance, man. I mean, it was unbelievable. Like that's what kept the movie going for me. Was Willem Dafoe? It was amazing.
Yeah, but let's not forget Robert Pattinson.
No, not so much Robert Pattinson. He's just okay. He's just okay.
What?
He's just all right.
Okay.
He still got to prove. He still has to prove himself. He's got a long way to go.
He will though.
And now he won't. Now he's never going to do it because now he's going to get locked into Batman for the next 10 years.
Yeah. So. Maybe that's an Oscar-worthy performance. Who knows?
Could be one and done.
Probably not.
You never know.
Anyway, from one artsy movie to another, I watched a true classic. I think this one is loved by many, I would say, cinema snobs, you know.
Okay.
What's up, Raynon? It's called The Seventh Seal from 1957.
Oh, Ingrid Bergman?
Ingmar Bergman, yeah. That's the director I always think of when I think of artsy people, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like real cinephiles, that they watch this shit. So it's a Swedish medieval fantasy movie with Max von Sydow, who actually died a couple of weeks ago.
Rest in peace to Max.
Max, yeah.
We knew each other, you know what I mean? We used to kick it. I love Max von Sydow, by the way. Like he was fantastic in the roles that he was in, but I never actually watched this. Tell me, is it good?
Yeah, it is good. So the Swedish knight Antonius returns to Sweden with his squire from a crusade in the 15th century, I believe. On the shores, he's approached by the Grim Reaper, of course, and he wants to take his life. So Antonius challenges the Reaper to a game of chess to play for his life, which for me already sounded so cool.
Awesome, yeah, awesome, right away.
And now he and his squire, they go on a journey through Sweden, and which is plagued by the plague. And whilst
the plague.
Yeah, right. So they go on this journey, and they all he's always returning to this game with the Grim Reaper, which was slightly confusing in the beginning because I thought they just had this game and tell a story or something, but they always go back to playing on the road. You know, the Grim Reaper is gone and shit, and then they play again. I don't know. And on the journey, they explore themes of life, death, and religion. You know, it's very philosophical movie. And it's in black and white with some fantastic cinematography. Like the visuals are fantastic. I just loved it. Even though I would have liked more of the Grim Reaper. He doesn't appear that often, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very difficult movie to watch. I think it's hard to get into. It's very unique though, and
It always
I mean,
seemed unique, you know.
you gotta be in for some philosophical conversations. There's not much action or anything, and some absurd humor actually, which was fun. And actually, the knights, the squire, he was pretty cool. He was a great character. I was actually I bought this movie and I had high expectations because I don't know the what's it called, the plot summary. It sounded great, like this chess playing with the Grim Reaper, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, for sure.
but the chess game isn't that prominent. It's not as prominent as I would hoped for. Anyway, it's a good film. I can definitely see why it's a classic, but I might have to see it again.
8.2.
Oh yeah, it's definitely very unique.
It's definitely in the cinephiles.
Yes,
a lot of cinephiles swear by this movie. So I've always been interested in it because I mean it's a very iconic looking movie, especially the figure of death and all that. But I've always wanted to watch it.
It also has some great posters, by the way.
Yeah,
like visually, it's pretty cool. Can't go against it.
Probably would have been bitching back in 1957 too. Like
probably, I think groundbreaking actually.
It's pretty incredible when you start to crack open these older movies and you realize how ahead of the time they were.
Oh yeah.
And like, you know, a movie from the 50s that always got me, I don't know if it's 50s or 60s, but The Manchurian Candidate, I think, is one of the best movies ever made. And it's totally fucking trippy that movie was made so long ago.
With Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, Frankie fucking Sinatra's in that.
Huh.
It's a trip, The Manchurian Candidate.
In German, it's called The Ambassador of Fear.
The Ambassador of Fear.
Isn't that cool?
That's a good title, though. It's better than some of the ones you've read to me. So.
I know. Anyway, you might want to check it out. The Seventh Seal, which is also a cool title.
It does have a cool title.
Yeah. Next one. I think this is like the third movie in a row, or the third week in a row. I watched another Hitchcock movie, and it's actually the best movie I watched this week that I hadn't seen before. It's Dial M for Murder from 1954.
You were just saying that you were gonna like watch that one next.
Yeah, and it was pretty great.
So you've done Rope, you did Strangers on a Train, and now you did Dial M for Murder.
Right. And maybe next, there's still one left on that streaming service, but wait, let me see. It's not as highly rated, so I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, I can't find the title right now. Anyway, so there's this man, and he blackmails a guy he knows from college into murdering his cheating wife. And the deed doesn't go as planned, and now she is in question of having murdered the guy who attempted to kill her.
Ooh. And
so it's basically like the police gets involved, and they're trying to solve this very layered case. And it takes entirely place in one apartment. I always like this shit.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's always unique when it takes place in one contained area. I love it.
Some people might think that would be boring, you know, just one apartment.
No, it goes back to 12. It goes back to 12 Angry Men for me.
Right.
You know? I love that shit. Love it.
And the plot is really interesting and really cool. I was always hooked. You know, I wanted to know how it's gonna end. Mm-hmm. And easily recognizable Hitchcock movie. I think I always say that. I mean, we talked about him plenty now. It is all his trademarks. Mm-hmm. And it's really good. Like I thought it was better than Stranger on a Train. Not as good as Rope, but still it's an 8 out of 10 for me.
The cool thing is you're watching these, like a lot of these movies that I haven't seen either yet. So, and both of us are kind of interested in seeing more of Hitchcock's work too.
Oh yeah.
I think we both can appreciate Hitchcock.
Right. Raynon asks if I've seen The Ghost Story. You mean the one with Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara? I've seen that. That's a weird movie.
Ghost Story.
That one is really weird. Like
A
it's
Ghost Story? Yeah, that's
a ghost story. Yeah,
Story.
it's probably the quietest movie I've ever seen. There's not much dialogue, and also there's not much happening. It's basically it's showcasing a cycle of life and death.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Casey Affleck is barely in the film. I don't know. It was very weird, but I kind of liked it.
That's
Like
automatically a
this is
bummer.
one of those. Yeah, right. 9 minutes of a girl eating a pie and crying. Yeah, it's such a movie. You know, it's very
Wait,
artsy.
wait a minute. What movie are you talking about?
The ghost story.
That's what it's about?
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh.
I'm actually surprised that it has 6.8 on IMDb. I don't think this is for like this is not something for most people.
A ghost story, right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of liked it, but still, I don't think many people will enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Difficult, definitely difficult movie. But yeah, moving on to I have 3 movies left, and they're all rewatches.
Which, by the way, the guy that did this A Ghost Story movie that you're talking about, David Lowery,
Yeah.
is a very anticipated movie for me coming out May
Oh, The
29th.
Green Knight.
The Green Knight, yeah.
Oh, and he also did The Old Man and the Gun, which I actually I borrowed.
Did he really do that? Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Oh, I liked that movie a lot.
I got it for $1. I still need to see it.
That's a steal. Yeah, that's a steal.
Yeah.
I loved Casey Affleck in that movie. Loved him.
Yeah, he's great. Great actor. Far better than his brother. Anyway, so the movies I rewatched. I rewatched Fantastic Mr. Fox from 2009, stop motion Wes Anderson movie with George Clooney, Meryl Streep, Jason Schwartzman, and Bill Murray.
The Fantastic Mr. Fox. Or is it
Is it called The Fantastic? I think it's just Fantastic.
It's just
Mr.
fantastic,
Fox.
isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So, and a fox, he cannot resist returning to his farm-raiding ways, and then must help his community survive the farmer's retaliation after he steals some chicken and apple wine.
I didn't realize this is based on a Roald Dahl novel. I love Roald Dahl. One of the best.
I mean, it feels very much like a fairy tale or something, or like I don't know what's it, fable.
Yeah, he wrote some good shit, man. Roald Dahl. He's the one that wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, okay, very creative dude.
Yes.
Dude, always like the stop motion technique behind Anderson's movie, or like in any big stop motion movie, there are not many. Always mind blowing to me. Like
this is the one that you told me, right? That you thought was CGI. That then you found
that
out
was Missing Link.
Oh, Missing Link is stop motion as well.
Okay. Yeah, and Missing Link totally looks like a 3D animated movie.
That is trippy because when you look at you look at the fucking trailers, you're like, there's no way. But
yeah, Fantastic Mr. Fox very much looks like a stop motion movie, but still, dude, how they crafted this, like, it's so much detail. I just I can't understand how they did that. It's crazy, really precise work. That's what you have with Anderson.
Yeah, the amount of work that goes into something like that is insane.
Yes. Also, just like calculating how the camera should move and shit, dude.
Yeah.
And Fantastic Mr. Fox. I think it's a very fun and short-lived experience. It's like 1 hour and 27 minutes. Great visuals, great dry humor as always with Anderson, and I think it works for children. I don't know, but it also
PG.
works for adults. It works for everybody basically.
Like The Simpsons.
Yeah, The Simpsons works much better if you're an adult.
I love that The Simpsons, like, you're getting to that. You know, I'm really interested in you continuing to watch The Simpsons because I know you're already getting to that point where you're like, yeah,
it's not as good anymore, but
it's still good, you know. But
So, Fantastic Mr. Fox, solid 8 out of 10. Next movie. The reason I actually rewatched Fantastic Mr. Fox because I was in the Wes Anderson hype again. After like 5 years or something, I rewatched The Grand Budapest Hotel. 2014. Yeah. Wes Anderson movie with everybody, basically.
This is the one that was nominated too, that almost fucking
9
won.
Nominations.
Yeah. I thought it was going to win too, but it didn't.
So it's kind of hard to explain what this movie is about. It's the story of the Grand Budapest Hotel in a fictional country in the 30s. And So I've written this myself, and it was kind of hard. The concierge, Ralph Fiennes, he inherits an invaluable painting from an old woman he had a weird relationship with. And her son, Adrian Brody, who might have murdered her, who knows, he doesn't want to give it away, so the concierge and his lobby boy, they just steal it, and are hunted by Willem Dafoe, the lackey of Adrian Brody, who's, I don't know, I always thought he was some kind of vampire or some shit. It looks pretty weird. And dude, this rewatch, I watched it with a friend, because I don't know, just I wasn't that into it, I wasn't crazy about rewatching it, but I absolutely loved it. It was an amazing experience. I think this is easily one of the visually most pleasing movies I've ever seen.
The list of actors in this movie too.
Oh yeah, everybody's in it. It's always so nice to me for me to see Adrian Brody in a movie because he's not in a lot. Also, Harvey Keitel is in it. Edward Norton, Bill Murray, Owen Wilson, Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah, Wes Anderson casts a lot of people you seem to really like as well.
But it's also, I think, just everybody wants to be in his movies. It's kind of the same with Tarantino.
Yeah.
So it just gets this big cast. And I mean, Ralph Fiennes in this movie as the lead is fantastic. One
of his best roles, I thought, actually.
Yeah. It's a very weird character, but really good. Mm-hmm. And dude, I think this easily has one of the best production designs of all time.
I believe that Ralph Fiennes is one of the most underrated actors out there.
Maybe.
Because we don't, even you and I, like when we're talking about great actors and stuff, Ralph Fiennes, maybe it's because I don't know. Is it because he just doesn't have the catalog? He's got a lot of movies under his fucking belt,
Yeah, but
including
not a lot of movies people have seen,
including some Best Picture winners as well.
Yeah, I mean, my friend didn't know who he was, which is weird. But he's never seen Schindler's List, and you can't really recognize him as Voldemort.
No, the nose just kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Ralph Fiennes, we rated him as a 10 out of 10 actor when we rated him.
I would still stand behind that 100%.
Yep, sure. Yeah. But everybody in this movie, dude, I don't know, it was a blast for me. Like this movie, I always appreciate it when movies are nice to look at. I like quality look, and this one is like next level. I love this world that Anderson built.
And it's become more and more and more prevalent too as his movies go on, that look of his.
Oh yeah. No, but I mean also just the look of this world. This, I don't know, Austrian, Hungarian, German, whatever that is supposed to be. Right. It's so cool.
Because I feel like the French Dispatch, when you look at it, has that very similar French Dispatch looks that looks like it's gonna be a trip. Like,
also because it has some actors that haven't been in Anderson movie yet. Benicio del Toro is in it. Christoph Waltz is going to be in it, so that's exciting.
One of my favorites, Elizabeth Moss. She's
right.
As well, yeah.
And Timothée Chalamet, of course.
Jeffrey Wright. Ooh.
Commissioner Gordon. And dude, this I totally forgot how this might be his funniest movie. Actually, Grand Budapest. There's so much good comedy in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And also, fun fact, Lucas Hedges is in it. In like one scene, one not even 1 minute scene.
When he was younger, huh?
Yeah, right. Because he was already in Moonrise Kingdom.
He's been in a lot more, he's been around longer than I thought, because there was another movie that I saw that I didn't, when I was looking him up. What the hell was it?
Like he's one of those child actors.
Oh, I think it was Kill the Messenger. Yeah. And The Slap. I don't know if you ever saw The Slap. That was such a stupid show. The Slap. It's about these people go crazy because it's like, a bunch of neighbors having a good time at a party, and then one of the neighbors slaps this kid, and then, all hell breaks loose. It's like...
Sounds interesting.
So fucking weird. And I remember I was hooked on it, and just, it gets so fucking weird that you're like, no, I do not recommend The Slap, even though I know you weren't asking. So we'll move on.
Okay. So yeah, just for me, this world building was mind blowing. It gave me a feeling that I don't have a lot. I wish I would live inside the film. Because it's just so perfect. Everything. I don't know. I think there are only 2 movies where I have that feeling. It's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and this one.
Oh my god!
I just love the atmosphere in the world.
You just had to drop the name. You just cannot escape it.
Yeah, but I'm come on.
You could just move to America and live in Hollywood. You know that, right?
That's a place I want to see in my lifetime, though.
It's
probably disappointing, but yeah.
It's a fucking shithole, okay?
Yeah.
But look, you gotta, I agree. Just much like I want to see Europe. I know that there's going to be some shit in Europe if I ever, am lucky enough to go. I'm sure I'm going to look at it and go, what the fuck did I come over here all this way for this?
Now we have old buildings, though. That's kind of cool.
Dude, Europe is incredible. The architecture, the old school shit, the old churches, the castles in your country. That shit's amazing, man.
Yeah, back to movies.
Anyway, sorry.
Dude, I realize as much as I love The Life Aquatic, I think this is now my favorite Anderson movie. I thought about just watching it right after that again, but I didn't. I just watched Fantastic Mr. Fox instead, and yeah. So
and you still haven't seen Bottle Rocket, right? That's the only one.
Yeah, that's the only one I'm missing.
Okay.
That's also his first one. I don't think it's like visually as precise as his later work.
No, but I think you should watch it. Much like Rushmore,
of course I will.
think was I feel like he came into his own in Tenenbaums, took it to the next level in Life Aquatic.
Yeah.
I would like to see.
It already feels very settled. It's very.
I would like to see that again. The Darjeeling Limousine.
Yeah, I have that on DVD. I might watch that again soon. Actually,
I wouldn't mind watching that one again.
But yeah, Grand Budapest Hotel is for me an easy 9 out of 10. But I might make it a 10 one day.
Ooh.
But now to a real 10 because I also rewatched another film that we talked about plenty of times. But
oh Jesus, here it comes.
But I never really explained the plot or anything. I think.
Is this number 13? Viewing 13 of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
No, I'm done with that.
Oh shit! I'm shocked.
Right. I mean, 12 times is kind of enough for now. I rewatched a movie called La Haine or La Haine.
Oh yes, La Haine makes appearance again.
Yeah, from 1995, French social drama / comedy with Vincent Cassel.
One of the best.
Yeah. So, it's basically 24 hours in the lives of 3 young men in the French suburbs in the day after a violent riot. And one of them finds a gun that a cop lost. And in this 24 hours, they experience a few different adventures when they go to the inner parts of Paris. And it's in black and white. It has some really artsy camera work, which is kind of weird, but cool. The actors feel like amateurs, kind of, even though they are not. They totally deliver, and like these 3 guys, they have a great dynamic. This movie is really, really funny, even though it's it has a rough topic, because it's basically the day after this movie takes place. No, the day before. I mean, a guy got beaten by cops, and now he's about to die in the hospital. And that's why this guy who found the gun, Vincent Cassel, he's planning on murdering a cop.
Oh.
When the guy in the hospital dies, he thinks I gotta make it even. I gotta kill a policeman. So it's, for me, I think it's a little bit similar to Parasite. It's a great social critique while still being super fun to watch. And
because Parasite was interesting with the way they did that, because it's very humorous and just it's a fun ride, but at the same time this incredibly dark shit is happening.
Right. Yeah, La Haine is a very good time. It's fast paced, it's funny, it's always entertaining, and the ending is a real punch in the gut. It's yeah. One thing though, I know did you actually plan on watching it?
I did plan on watching it. I went to press play and realized I did not have a copy with the subtitles, which,
Okay.
I think would be kind of hard to watch.
You don't speak French?
I don't, unfortunately. I thought about taking it in school, but I was like, nah, fuck that. I'll take Spanish.
Probably makes more sense in the US.
Yeah. I mean, I speak perfect Spanish, though,
Of course.
11, uno,
So the thing though is, I watched it with a German dub. I always do because I don't speak French. And German dub is really good. But watching it in French with subtitles might be a little tough.
Really?
Because sometimes there are scenes when they all talk simultaneously, and I think it's hard to follow with subtitles.
It's probably just because French is so, right?
I don't know.
I'm just fucking with you.
I mean, they interrupt each other and shit, So I don't know if you can actually follow who's saying what with the subtitles. But I mean, that's how people talk. I think it's a very authentic movie, I feel like. And real cult film, actually. I think it's 8.1 on IMDb. It's kind of a classic from the 90s. And
you've been swearing behind this movie for.
Oh yeah, I mean, since I bought it in like November, I believe.
What drove you to see it anyway? What drove you to see it? Was it like, did you find it on a list or something?
No, I watched some talk show or like some video podcasts on YouTube about movies, and they were talking about it. And I've seen some stuff of this before in my life, but never knew that this is like that it's called La Haine and shit. I never knew the movie. I just know some scenes, and so I decided to buy it. And since I did, I watched it 5 times because it's absolutely amazing. Always
This movie on Rotten Tomatoes is rocking 100% critic score, 95% audience score out of 40,000 user ratings. That's pretty fucking good.
It is
fucking good.
I mean, it's also a very artsy movie. I think that's it. Why critics also love it. The camera is sometimes moving in ways I don't understand, like going through mirrors and shit. Mm-hmm. Like it's pretty incredible. Very well made movie.
How about the director though? Did he ever do anything after?
I think he also did the famous movie Amelie. No, he didn't.
Oh, he did Gothica. Gothica was terrible. Babylon AD was terrible. So when he came to America, he struggled a bit there, didn't he?
But he also did these. What's it called? One with Jean Reno and Vincent Cassel. The Crimson Rivers.
Crimson Rivers.
I mean, not that badly rated.
That's a title.
Scardello, we were talking about the movie La Haine.
La Haine.
La Haine, or in English, Hatred.
It's not The Hate?
No, I think it's Hatred.
I thought it was The Hate.
Maybe, I don't know.
Isn't La the?
Yeah, but in German it's just called it's just called Hass, which means hatred. So I don't know.
Oh, that's a German thing then.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually called just hate.
Oh, hate.
Hate. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, it's a hateful movie in a way.
Was it violent?
A bit.
Okay.
I mean, the ending. I don't want to spoil anything.
Now, is this when you say it's funny? Is it dark funny, like dark comedy in a way, or is it just?
No, it's just a very nice. It's very fun times. Like they're insulting each other all the time and shit, and saying dumb stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know. Like it's especially funny when those 3 low lives basically when they're colliding with the upper class of people.
And you said this is a ghetto movie as well, right?
It is, yeah. I mean, it's 3 people who have really poor and no perspective at all.
Is this the ghetto movie? The best?
For me, it is. For me, it is. But it's also different.
A different ghetto, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's Paris.
Which, I mean, that's, appealing in a way, though, because, like the movie I watched this week, the Extraction movie, like, it's cool to see different places, like Bangladesh, it's a fucked up place, Bangladesh. So I don't really know anything about 90s France.
There were some riots.
I thought everybody in France was just getting along, you know,
and drinking wine, right?
yeah, drinking wine and hating everybody else. That's how I think about France.
Right. Yeah, that's all I watched this week. Quite a lot. And
That's a lot. That's a lot, especially when you consider you watched all these movies plus the entire season of The Last Kingdom. Yeah.
And Simpsons and The Mandalorian. I watched a lot, yeah.
Yep. Have you gained any weight? Have you gained any weight during this pandemic?
Not that I know of. Actually, I think I lost some.
That's good. That's good.
Because actually, it's weird. Since the whole quarantine shit, I started eating healthier and I started going out more on walks and shit. I don't know. It's like, I don't know why. Because actually, I should be inside. You know?
Yeah, you should. You should do your part. Quit spreading the disease.
I mean, going on a walk on your own is not.
You might cough, you know, and a little baby might breathe it in, you know.
I think actually at this point there's one case in my town.
That's good. That's good news, man.
It used to be like over 20, and now it's just one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my theory is that the heat will drown it out. It'll come back the next season.
Yeah,
but I don't even know how your seasons work over there. What season is it for you?
Spring.
Spring, okay.
Like
spring for us too.
Yeah.
Do we have the same seasons?
Yeah, I think
we
so.
Do? Oh.
Yeah, I think in Australia and shit, it's different.
I figured it was snowing right now for you.
The lower part of the earth, you know?
Yeah. I want to go to Australia one day.
Yeah. I don't know. Australia seems kind of hostile to humans.
A little bit.
All right.
Well.
And I guess see you again next week.
Good show, Alman. Have a good weekend, man.
You too.
Later, bro. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to do it. Episode 27. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be back streaming in a little bit. We'll do a little Warcraft. So have a good weekend. Peace.